Kia ora, I'm still working through some backlog stuff here. Yes, all the 2024 sets are very exciting. There's a lot that's releasing that we all really want, but don't forget to work through that sale catalog for the 2023 releases. There is some really good stuff in there, like this beauty. This is set 75357, The Ghost and Phantom 2, which released in 2023 for 280 NZD, although you can find it for around 250 if you know where to look. I got mine for just under 220 over a Christmas sale, and throw in a couple store vouchers in there as well, why not? The set includes 5 minifigures with 1,394 parts. It's based on the Ahsoka TV show from Disney+, but it also acts as a much requested remake of the 2014 Ghost. And speaking of, I took a look at that 2014 Ghost in just this past year, which is one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets of all time. I'm very thankful for my partner for getting me that for my birthday some years ago. Now we have a great looking remake for those of you who missed the original. I want to get straight into it by starting out with some of the finer details of the ship. The Ghost structure and especially its colors make it very unique in the Star Wars universe, and it makes for a fine looking model all in all. The thing that I was most looking forward to here was all of the in-depth attention to details compared to that original. Where the original used bigger pieces for the overall bulk, this has you building up that specific shape structure, which made for a very satisfying build experience while I finished streaming that TV show. So some of the key details here will start at that cockpit section, which uses those nice gold bricks in white and sticker details as well. There's some sand blue smooth parts there and some nice orange to make up for a nice looking color combo. The cockpit opens up by these two separate canopy windows, and an interesting change to the original here is that the cockpit can be fully removed from the hull, which allows for easier access for seating your minifigures. There is a moving turret here, but more on that in a sec, because it's connected to a play feature that I think is really cool. Inside here we've got some basic controls and some stickers, though I do like the use of the Inquisitor lightsaber for the control stick. Clips on the back can connect to those clips inside the ship, and the play feature I mentioned is this movable section here, which locks the turret in place. When connecting, you need to make sure to line the turret up into its slot, and moving the turret up front moves this whole connecting circuit at the back, which will fire the missiles included. Smooth sailings up top again with some nice stickers and colors and use of parts like the rolling pin. That sand green color is one that I love in LEGO no matter how small it's used, so it's always nice to see it. Right away from the set being revealed, these side sections were what caught my eye the most. The original has no attention for detail in these sections completely, it's just left blank, and this section in the remake is a great example to show just how far that company has come in less than a decade of building practices. If I move the top section, which are loose to easily attach and make the ideal shaping, you can see the side section is on a long thin plate which is connected onto one of these cross connectors and placed onto a hook piece. All of these panel parts can be moved around slightly, but it's just an easier way to connect onto the build, which will give you that shape that the ship needed. In the original, these flaps are used for storage areas. Also in the original, these chunky parts here originally acted as escape pods, which also made for some good storage. Here they are completely decorative, attached onto by Technic pegs there. A symmetrical design for the details and the sides here as well. It looks solid overall. It leads us to the top section, which is a much more streamlined and clean look to the 2014 counterpart. The turret can be moved up and down, and the window can be opened too for fitting a minifigure inside. The back features the Phantom already slotted in, which is the biggest difference between these two ships. The original had an open space for a Phantom set, which was sold separately. This one makes sure to include it. It's very easy to remove though, mine always does bring that jumper plate with it. It leaves this area open and exposed, which is looking a lot more closer to the original counterpart now. The engines are okay, nothing too exciting here though. It uses some monster truck wheels, which is fun to see. I always like building different type of in-depth engines, but this isn't anything extraordinary here. There are two big engines here and two little ones. The underneath section looks like this for all of those wondering. No new bold impressive techniques here that I can see, but some nice interactive features. This is how that cannon at the front here works. When the missiles are locked in, it means that the movable piece will hit the missile, allowing the firing action. I usually display all of my sets without the missiles because I accidentally hate setting them off when you start moving stuff around. You get 3 green ones here though. The last feature to talk about in the underside section here are the doors, which can open on both sides that lead directly into the ship. As far as access inside the ship goes, you actually for the first time now can remove this top section, and it has an interior hangout space. The biggest sin of the original was the fact that it was missing an interior like this. I love the chunk here that can be removed, and the shaping can be adjusted as well. Now it's not much inside, but it's something, and I love that I finally have a ghost interior for my Rebels crew to hang out in. We have some minor stickers and control panels near the doorway here. The other side features some similar details, but it also includes a little sink and a small crate, and inside that small crate is some Melu Run fruit. and slotting the roof back into its place is really easy, sits nice and snug, and that's it for the Ghost. Onto that Phantom here. I haven't covered the original release of the Phantom 2 from, I want to say, either 2016 or 17. Rest assured though, it is massive compared to this tiny version. The size is quite laughable, but that's only because we have another set that we can compare it to. On its own, I like this dinky little thing, and it's the first thing that you build from the set. There's only really two notable features here. There's a chest at the back, which features a gun and a pair of binoculars inside, and there is a functioning cockpit section, and I really don't like that window that's being used here. It's a very loose connection, and it's easy to have fly off accidentally. It comes away very easily while I'm messing around. The sidewalls can be adjusted again for the shape, but besides that, nothing major here. Nice stickered printings around as well. I like the small inclusion, and I'm happy that we don't have to get another set to finish off this design. Connecting the Phantom into place at the back is very easy. There's a jumper plate and a Technip peg there for our connections, and it fits in there really well, I must say. Onto the minifigures. This is the remake of Hera Syndulla, who we've been waiting for some years now. Easily the highlight figure of the set, and I guess it makes sense to have her exclusive to her own ship, but apologies to those who really want her but can't afford the ship right now, but you never really know. The last one did release in a microfighter at some stage. Hera features some nice obvious changes to her previous release. The jacket and leg printing look really great. The goggles on her headpiece are smaller, but they are a lot more defined. I'm not a fan of the stylization that LEGO's been doing with the aliens in Star Wars these days. The lack of pupils, it really bothers me. It is based on the likeness of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, an actress who, as far as I'm aware, has pupils, so I would like to see a more accurate live action depiction here, but I don't think the community sees this as much of an issue as I do. More focused on the helmet holes really. Double-sided face for a more angered expression, which does fit, but she wasn't really angry throughout the show, you know? And here she is compared to her original released figure, one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars minifigures. The simple cartoon prints really stand out compared to these live action ones, and like I said, both faces are pretty close together actually. It doesn't really feel like there is a distinction between live action and cartoon depictions, at least in my opinion. Looks really nice overall. The other interesting remake of the set here is Chopper, who is also an exclusive remake, at least for the time being. He looks great and really weird at the same time somehow. Prints on both the front and the back is really good to see. It makes for a really great remake compared to the original. The color choice is also accurate for the show's depictions, but it might be a little bit too much. He has a really bright white colored body and some grayish legs, but the colors feel really dulled in the show, whereas here, like I said, really bright. Chopper in the original also used to have his head dish just printed on, which looked really funny, but I think it was too awkward of a shape for LEGO to try and do. Here, they've attempted to use a flat tile stud, which also looks really funny to me. Some of it works, some of it needs a little bit of reworking. This is him compared to his previous Chopper release. The colors for the legs match, and that's about it. Every other detail is fresh, the orange head is brighter, as well as the body colors. All around, he is a very different figure, which is something at the very least. This is First Officer Vic Hawkins, which is a name that's a little rough with my accent. Nice plain old guy, which I do like to see. It's just a little bit basic as the soul inclusion here. I like getting these type of minifigures as figure slot number 8 or something, not when it's like the main 5, you know? But anyway, I like the officer's uniform here and the colors, which does make for a really nice, interesting combo. No double-sided face print because that hairpiece is very high up. I do really like that face print though, because I do need more neutral expressions for people of color that aren't obviously tied to an actor. And this is Lieutenant Beyta, who, again, fairly simple, which is fine, but it's also strange that this set includes figures like this, characters who did appear in the show, but they were only in it briefly, and compared to the mainline characters, they don't do too much either. He uses the Mon Calamari head, which is a favourite special molded piece of mine, but this is a little annoying to me. The colours chosen here are the basic Akbar kind, but in my opinion, he seems to be a lot brighter in his colours from the source material. We've seen this head recolored before, so it would have been more ideal to see a recoloring here. And finally, we have Jacen Syndulla, who has a pretty big inaccuracy going on. Yes, the minifigure is fine overall, nothing really stands out to mind, but the wrong choice for the hair colour does take me out completely. Whatever the concept images were that LEGO were using for their source material must have either had really bad lighting, or they decided to change the hair colour through production, which both are possible. We don't have a green haired kid here, and I'll admit, yeah, the green hair in the show is really silly, but the character has green hair, doesn't he? So it needed to match, and it just doesn't. Alternate face print here of a more simpler smile. Get out of here, Jacen. It's time to put everyone in the ship here. Jacen fits inside the Phantom by just being placed here nice and easily. You can lift that roof section here, and we can sit Mr. Vic Hawkins inside, and Chopper fits on these jumper plates as well. remove the entire cockpit section for easier access. I'm going to sit Hera down here because why not? I'll put Beyta in the cockpit section for a change and let him fly, and start putting the ship back together there. Now the crew is all set, nice and easy, and we can go off on the adventures. The instructions come in a really big booklet here, a couple of 100 pages long like the Millennium Falcon ones, standard instructions on the inside, and the back gives us some promotional material for the sets released in 2023. There are reviews on this channel for the gunship and for the Jedi shuttle. I have no plans on getting that other set listed here because I don't like those minifigures. Inventory list, win robot, the usual. I'm very satisfied with the LEGO Ghost remake overall. It's a great addition to anyone's collection, especially those who missed the original. The remake warrants your purchase even if you do have the original release, because the building techniques are just so much better here. The build structure is a massive improvement, and the addition of an interior design as well as a phantom included, it just adds a lot more value to this set. This new one is fancy and also a lot cheaper than the original in aftermarket. The minifigures here are a tad questionable. While I love that Hera figure despite the soulless look in her eyes, the Vic and Beyta figures are nice additions, but unfortunate figure slots. I kinda wish we got some more, and the Chopper and Jacen are very interesting first drafted attempts that just need a lot of reworking before they become perfect. But overall, a great remake. If you enjoyed this look at a 2023 LEGO Star Wars set, liking the video and subscribing here helps to support this channel in making more videos like this. Ka kite anō.